Bueno, simplemente voy a presentaros a Edwin Chung, que es el ponente de nuestra siguiente charla. Él es vicepresidente de gestión de producto a nivel mundial en Liferay. Tenemos la suerte de contar en la oficina de Madrid con 2 de los 3 vicepresidentes a nivel mundial en Liferay y hoy pues, vamos a estar con Edwin. Únicamente avisaros que la charla es en inglés. En esta sala finalmente no tenemos traducción simultánea, pero bueno, Edwin lleva algún tiempo entre nosotros, seguro que lo tiene en cuenta. Muchas gracias. Por favor.
Hello, everyone. It's great being here in Madrid to be able to talk to you about blogs for the digital enterprise. What I want to cover today is how you can use blogs as an effective communication tool. And a lot of times when people talk about blogs, they often think just about digital marketing. What I want to do in this talk is broaden that concept because I think a lot of you are actually using blogs not just for public-facing things, but for your social intranets as well. So I want to briefly cover both use cases. But before I do want to ask a few questions. And what I would like to know is how many of you in the audience are involved in managing any public-facing marketing blogs for your company? Are there any marketers in this room that are managing blogs? Okay, a couple. It's great. How many of you are using blogs as an internal social collaboration tool and have created a blog for your intranet? Any show of hands? More hands? Okay, great. And finally, the last question is, how many of you have a personal blog that you maintain just for fun, for whatever reason? Ah, great. So what we're seeing right now is the use of blogs has just exploded over the years. And I think it's because blogs can be a very effective communication tool for the digital enterprise for a variety of use cases. And what we're seeing right now is there are individuals like this guy, Pat, who is making lots of money every month. And the way he makes money is through advertising, and it's because everyone's going to his site because he's teaching people how to blog. And he makes well over $100,000 a year maintaining this site that he has about how to earn passive income through blogging. There are a lot of small businesses who have blogs, and because of the fact that the internet kind of levels the playing field in terms of whether you're a big or small company, you have an equal voice. They find it very advantageous to be able to create a presence online digitally. And of course, large enterprises are also blogging and talking about the things that are important to them as well. And so for this talk, I wanted to really focus on just those 2 use cases, blogs for digital marketing and blogs for the digital workspace. So to start with, let's think about blogs for digital marketing. Now, what's one of the biggest challenges to any website or any content that's available out there on the internet? And I think that one of the biggest problems is how do you stand out in a content-saturated world? This is a fire hydrant. I'm not sure if I've come across many fire hydrants in Madrid, but in the US, fire hydrants are located in the streets, and if there's a fire, it's where the firemen will go and attach their hoses so that they can put fires out. But getting information off the internet often is like trying to take a drink out of a fire hydrant. There's just so much content out there that you're competing with your competitors, with other people, to be able to reach your customers and your audience. And if you're not careful, you may come across some very, very bad advice. So I'm not sure how much of you are familiar with this one video that went viral. It's about the iPhone 7. And if you're familiar with the iPhone 7, one feature that they removed was the audio jack. So there's no audio jack in the iPhone 7. So some guy thought it would be funny to post a video about how you could drill a hole in your iPhone, and that's all you would need to do to have your audio jack again. And this video went viral on YouTube, and there are lots of people commenting about how they had drilled a hole in their iPhone and it broke. And it's amazing to me how this guy has 7 other blogs about how an iOS update made your phone waterproof and you can now drop it in the water. Many things like that, and it just resonates with me, the power of the internet, how any information out there can be very, very dangerous. And so I think one thing that we're seeing as people are out there, it's really a question of, is the content that you're seeing trustworthy? So some positive examples of how companies are using blogs to be able to further their business is this is the Moz blog, and our marketing department in the U.S. actually has been following this blog for quite a while. And what this site does and what this blog does is they bring all the experts around SEO optimization, the latest SEO trends, and ultimately are providing thought leadership and advice on how to optimize for SEO through their site. And what they're doing is a few things. By blogging about these things and inviting all these experts to blog on their platform, they're increasing traffic to their website. They're now an authority in the domain of SEO optimization. And when you're able to do that, it becomes a great tool for lead nurturing and lead generation. There are other examples like Tableau. This is a sort of reporting analytics product that we actually use at Liferay. And what they do is they blog about how to use their product. They provide practical, real-world examples of how other customers are using Tableau. And it gives people who read these blogs an idea of how they can make better decisions for their business. So the other thing blogs allow you to do is it allows businesses to either acquire more customers or even retain your customers. Because if you're not engaged with your customers, if you're not talking to your customers about your products, about your offerings, guess what? It leaves room for your competitors to come in and provide that advice, provide that thought leadership, provide that information that they'll come to rely on and they'll come to trust that's not coming from you, which may ultimately end in them leaving. So blogs are great for customer acquisition and customer retention as well. And the other thing that I really love about blogs is it really does level the playing field. So this is a picture of I think, Brico. It's basically one of the large big box stores that you can find here in Spain. In the US, these big box stores are far, far more prevalent. And the thing that they're able to do is buy in bulk and really drive down the price. So if you go to your local ferreteria, what you'll find is that the prices there are going to be much higher than what you're going to find at these big box stores. So how does blogging, how does the internet help you level that playing field? So one of our marketing managers in the US, his name is Jason. So he's been looking to buy a faucet for his house because his faucet broke down. So he went to his local store, which charges more, but they provided him with much more better advice. And what they told him was, be careful about the faucet you buy because those big box stores have these agreements with these vendors where the big box stores say, you must meet this certain price point. And the way that they're able to meet that price point is in the inside internals of the actual faucet, they use plastic parts. Whereas this store actually has that same faucet, but with metal parts, with parts that are far more durable. So it's a better product that he's ultimately getting. And he's getting advice on how to install that faucet, what he needs to do to maintain it. And because of that trust, because of that established relationship that he has with this local store, he's happy to pay more money to buy something that he knows is going to be a higher quality and trust that if anything goes wrong, that store will be there for him. And so I think what it all comes down to is if you're on the internet and you're trying to do content marketing, there are all these great benefits from it. Lead generation, customer retention, customer acquisition, increasing traffic to your website. But ultimately, what you're trying to do at the end of the day is gain your customers' trust, because people buy from companies that they trust. So what I want to do is maybe take a look back at how marketing has just changed over the years. So in the 1980s, we started with a bunch of print advertising and direct mail. I remember back in the 80s, we used to get a ton of junk mail, and it used to be, at least in the US, where I would get 9 pieces of junk mail for every 1 piece of mail that was actually something useful, like a bill or a letter or something like that. And the way companies tried to reach their customers was through print advertising and direct mail. And in the 90s, when the internet took off, they basically took that same principle and applied it digitally. And now it was a lot easier because you didn't have to print collateral. You could just send emails. You could do online advertising. The cost of trying to reach your customer was lowered, but it was the same tactic. It was the same approach of just trying to spread out as much information as possible out there about your company and hoping that customers would come. And it wasn't a very effective way of doing things. So in the 2000s, that evolved to marketers becoming more sophisticated in how they try to gain the trust and the business of their customers. And we saw the rise of content marketing and inbound marketing. And what we saw was exactly the things that I'm describing, where customers would provide content out there that necessarily wasn't advertising about how their product was the best and what features they offered. They tried to think about what are the problems our customers are coming across, and how can we solve and how can we answer those questions, and by doing so gain their trust and hopefully gain their business as well. And so today we're in a stage where it's all about relational marketing, and the difference between the companies that are winning and succeeding are the ones that have a well thought out, well-defined content digital marketing strategy. And the losing companies are the ones that don't, because they can't reach their potential buyers to build that trust, to build that credibility. So the final example I'll give is this. So if any of you know, I moved to Spain about 3 years ago. And the biggest shock for me was how everything was smaller here in Europe versus the US. Having lived here now, what I realized is everything's just too big in the US. And here's my example. Here's my wallet from 3 years ago. It's really big. It's really thick. I've got a lot of credit cards in there and cash, and it really, when I tried to put it in my pocket, was very bulky. Now, I travel a lot, and having something this heavy and big to carry wasn't very convenient. So what I did was I decided, hey, you know, I need to really slim my wallet down. So I ended up buying this Bellroy wallet. And the way they got me to purchase their wallet was actually through content marketing. I wasn't looking for a wallet. What I was looking for was information on, when I'm traveling, how do I get better at shoving more things into my suitcase? And I came across their site, and this was one of their travel tips. Rolling your clothes actually allows you to get more clothes into your suitcase. keeping a pen handy for when you need to fill out visa forms. And I actually think this was the most useful information I got, particularly when I had to travel to Brazil. Carry a decoy wallet. So what they suggest is you carry a fake wallet with small amount of cash, with fake cards, and if you ever get robbed, you give them the fake one, and you still have your real wallet and your real card. And I thought that was genius. And I actually learned from one of our Brazilian coworkers that that's exactly what his mom does, because she drives a very nice car and she has a really nice designer bag. So what she'll do is she'll actually buy a knockoff handbag, fill it with rocks, and if she ever gets carjacked or anything happens, she'll just hand them over the bag with the rocks, the fake designer bag, and she still has her bag with all her important things. So I found this to be really useful, and so they were able to gain my trust. I just thought, hey, if they understand the problems that I'm going through traveling, they'll understand how to build the best wallet for me. And so I ended up purchasing this Liferay wallet, and I enjoyed using it for the last couple years, but must say, I now have gone to further extremes and have this even smaller wallet from the Ridge, which I actually really enjoy. But that's the power of content marketing. That's the power of being able to gain the trust of your employees by talking about things that may not even be related to the product that you're selling. But if you're able to do that, you can establish authority and be able to win over business. Okay, so I've talked a lot about these stories and these anecdotes. And whenever I get too deep into any presentation that I'm listening to, and I don't see any concrete data, I start rolling my eyes and thinking, well, okay, great. You can make up all the stories you like, but show me some data that actually shows the value of the things that you're saying. So it's the data time. Here we go. So here's some interesting statistics that I was able to find on the internet. And what's great about digital marketing and about a lot of this stuff is there's so much data that's available out there because it is in digital format. And so here's some interesting data about B2B marketers. The majority of B2B marketers, their top challenge will be producing engaging content. The great content that will build trust with customers, that's their main challenge. Secondly, their next challenge is how do you measure how effective that content was? You may think that it's great, but you never know unless you're able to measure it. And finally, the biggest challenge after that is how do you do it consistently? If you wrote a great article today, how do you make sure that you can do that week after week after week? So these are some of the data that coming out from B2B marketers about the things that they're worrying about and they're concerned about. And it's all about creating, maintaining, measuring good content. And even among that data, there's other data that shows that 45% of marketers say that blogging will be their #1 important content strategy. 69% of marketers say that they plan to increase their use of blogging this year. And why do we see this trend in marketers investing in blogging? And that's because of this. What they've shown is that marketers who actually prioritize blogging are 13 times more likely to achieve a positive ROI on their efforts. So I'm going to shift gears here and talk a little bit more about blogs in the digital workspace. So effective communication and collaboration to have a productive workforce is, I think, important to any company, whether you're small or large. And I think blogs are a very effective way in which you can communicate messages to the organization and start a conversation and encourage collaboration. So the example I want to use is one of our customers, Shot. And I'd like to introduce you to this man, Jorg Dur, who's the communications manager at Shot. And what they did was they created a website, an intranet, and they created this intranet so that they could have their employees collaborate. And And what happened was they decided, okay, let's launch the internet. Let's try to see what happens with the collaboration by inviting some people, maybe people that are a little more technical, that may be a little more excited to see, to be able to start using the content. And what happened was in his words, really, really amazing. Shortly after they launched the platform, 14 members across different departments, across different regions, they got together. They came up with a new idea. And within 2 months, they were already filing a patent for that idea. So the communication, the collaboration that Shot was able to benefit from the platform was pretty amazing. It was really powerful. But I don't think it'd be fair to say, they seem to have done it. And I think they had a pretty good strategy and plan in place. And I think that sort of brings me to my next point. If you're familiar with this movie, it's called Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner. And the premise of the movie is, if you build it, they will come. So he built this baseball stadium, and all these baseball players came to play. They're kind of like ghosts or something like that. But if you build it and expect people to use technology or internet or anything that you will build, really, it's only true in the movies. What you really need is to understand that you need a collaborative team culture. You need to be able to establish governance, establish how are you going to collaborate as a team, because the technology itself is only a tool. The underlying relationships, the way you've established how people are going to collaborate, who is going to lead this, who's going to be the manager for content is extremely important. And whatever the pillars are, and I'm not saying that these are the 4 right pillars, but you have to figure that out for yourself in terms of your company, in terms of what are your values and how are you going to establish that team building culture. And that was very true for this company called American Electric Power. They understood the importance of employee engagement. So for the last 3 years, they've been actively trying to improve their employee engagement through a learning map. It's a 90-minute session where it helps employees understand where their position is in the larger scheme of the company and where they provide value and how they kind of fit into it all. And one of the quotes that I really love about their deployment was, when you really engage employees, you get them excited and passionate, and they become invested in the success of not only their career, but of your company as well. Okay, so I'm running out of time here, so I want to shift to Liferay blogs for the enterprise. What does Liferay offer to you to help you achieve your blogging initiatives, whether they be digital marketing or for the digital workspace? So I'm going to start with a slide. If you were in the technical track for Sergio's talk, you may have seen this slide, this video already. But what they're walking through here is how easy it is to create a new blog entry. You just click on blog entry. And what you're able to do is you're able to fill in the title, fill in the subtitle. And what I really love about this experience is it actually visually shows you the content as it will probably be when you publish it. Before, we used to have boxes where you filled out content, but once you click save or publish, the way it actually looked was very different. And here you're seeing the ability to easily select images, display the images in different ways, and then be able to post that and add that to your blog image. Okay, and you can easily browse through any of the images that are in either document library or a part of blog images. You can find out all the properties of that image as well. And so I think we've made a great leap with 7.0 in how you can be able to easily create blogs. And the other thing that we're pretty excited about is how you're able to actually potentially integrate your own repositories of images into the image selector here. So this example shows how we've actually integrated with Flickr and Unsplash to be able to see the images that are in those repositories, be able to select them and be able to upload them to your blog. The other thing that I'm really excited about that we did for 7 is we really thought about mobile first when we're designing our blogs. So what you'll find is that when you're actually consuming the information through your mobile device, we thought through a lot of the details of how you're going to navigate, how the content will be viewed. And it's really exciting to me to see that we've made a lot of this progress on the mobile side. And blogs are a great way of communicating, but the other improvements that we've made was making it a lot easier to be able to collaborate through comments. And we've improved the commenting system so that you can write and visualize what the final style is for the actual comments. And now you can even mention other users and be able to bring them into the conversation, bring them into the collaboration with using the @ sign and having the autocomplete. And the commenting system and the mentioning is available for blogs, but it's also available for all the collaboration tools that we have, whether it's the message boards, the wikis, documents. So we're really excited about these new capabilities for the platform. And one thing I think that Liferay really provides an advantage of is if you think about how difficult it is to create great content, what you also need to be able to do is be able to connect different content pieces together to provide more meaning and value to the user. So what our blogs have always been able to do is be able to easily associate with other related content. So let's say you're blogging about an event that's happening. You can associate a calendar event to that blog. You can associate a PDF that has the details for that event to the blog. So, it's really powerful in the way you can be able to not just think of blogs, but think of other content that you can associate with it. And if you're blogging for the digital marketing story, you need to be posting on a continuous cycle. It will help search engines, it'll make them happy because they'll see content being updated regularly. And when the content is updated, search engines will re-index your site. You'll move up in SEO results, and it's generally great. And the other thing you should be aware of is other trends like when do most people read blogs? And maybe the statistics right now are on Mondays, most people read blogs, but on Thursday, most people share blogs. Interesting. So maybe what you want to do is you want to schedule your publishing of blogs around Monday so that it'll get read, but you also want to publish the next amount of blogs on Thursday when they'll potentially get shared. So those are things that are available now in Liferay 7. I want to talk about a couple of things that you'll get that we're working on in the roadmap. And the first thing is engagement metrics. It's, can we help you understand who is reading your blogs? Can we understand whether the content is relevant, whether it's interesting to them, from both a digital marketing and a digital workplace perspective? Another thing that we're working on is adaptive media. And that's if you have the content in one format, let's not think about how it's optimized just for a laptop or desktop, but let's think about how can we further optimize the delivery. And that's also by making the media itself adaptive, reducing the file size, being conscious of things like people who are viewing content on their mobile devices with limited bandwidth. So those are the other things that we're doing so that the user experience overall is improved because they're able to get to their content much faster. Okay, so in conclusion, I just want to summarize. I think what really makes us excited about what we've done for 7.0 is that Liferay makes it really easy to create great content. And what you have to remember is that great content, it's hard enough creating that great content. What we want to remove is all the difficulty in the authorship and the publication. We'll take care of all of that. You take care of coming up with that great content. And when you do that, what you'll find is that people buy from or work for companies that they trust. And so as you are furthering your digital marketing or your digital workplace initiatives, I think Liferay is a great platform for the digital enterprise across the entire customer journey for both customers and employees. Thank you very much.